Well, welcome everybody to Sailing Junkie. I thought it's very hard to do videos in the winter when the boat's not in the water because it's on the hard, which is over that way. And I'll take you over there in a minute, show you on the hard. But I thought I'd just show you whereabouts the boat's located. As you can see, we're at low water today. I think the tide's just about to turn, but this is the spot where we are. We're right at the top end of Wells Harbour, next to the sea. If you look on YouTube, you'll see what a wonderful place this is. It's absolutely stunning, and even now you won't be able to see because the bird life that I've got out there at the moment. There's oyster catchers, there's blubbers, there's some egrets I can see. We've got the geese coming in at any time. Obviously you've got loads of seagulls. Here's an egret over there I can see. I got the oyster catchers, got some I will actually bring the zoom lens camera and do you a video from here because the wildlife is stunning. Anyway, you haven't come to see the wildlife, you come to see the boats. As you can see, we've got loads of little boats here. You can keep them here all through the winter because we are about a mile inland, so unless it really does blow early and on a neat tide and it's so high and high, it is quite safe. The people down here, the harbour master informed me it's quite safe to keep your boat here in the winter. So anyway, that's where we're at the moment. Anyway, let's go into the yard and we'll show you how we've done the boat and what plans we've got to do on the boat in the winter. Loads of little jobs, as you know. Anybody else who keeps a boat knows how many jobs they've got to be. There's just loads of jobs, but this is a nice crisp, what you call November day. It didn't quite freeze last night, but we got some blue sky coming over, so hopefully we're going to have a nice day and a nice day playing on the boat. Anyway, let's go and show you the boat, shall we? Right, we just walked into the boat yard and I suppose there must be 30, 40 boats in here at the moment and they're still bringing them in for the winter anyway. There she is, there's Sweet Sarah. She's all on her blocks and everything, and we've started cleaning her. We got rid of all that horrible green gum that was on top. Oh, it took absolutely ages, but elbow grease, just keep rubbing, got it all off. It's bloody, it's good. And as you can see, we did have a problem with the cockpit filling up with water. And I'll show you that in a minute, and if any ideas of what to do with it. Anyway, we've put a tarp over the top. As you can see, it's gone over. I don't know if you can see there, it's gone over the mast there, so that's keeping it all nice and clean and dry inside. So that's good. And let's go aboard and we'll show you what we've got on. Right, we're on board now. It's a bit out the wind. As you can see, we've got the tarpaulin over, which has made so much difference. It allows me to work on the boat in the winter, and also it stopped the cockpit, because what was happening was the cockpit was filling up with water, and because the boat was at that angle, the water was laying to the back in the cockpit, and the drain plugs were here. So in fact, what was happening was the water wasn't going down the drain plugs. It was going straight into the bilge. And the reason it was going, so what I've got to look at doing is, I don't know if you can see here. Let me just move the camera slightly so hopefully you can see what we got to do. As you can see, we've got to work at these seals here. They've got some seals, so I presume if I could seal that tight, so when this goes down, we can screw it up tight. So if we do get water in the bilge, it doesn't see it. If we water in the cockpit, I do apologise. Then the water will actually not go into the bilge. It will actually go into the drain plugs. But I think this is only happening because we've got it on the hard. And the gentlemen, when they put it, they've got the boat slightly at that angle. If they'd have had it at that angle, it would have been all right. So I think I'd make a point next time when we put the boat on the hard next year, is that we've got the boat tipping forwards. So if the water does go into the cockpit, it will go down the drain plugs. But that's about the only problem I've had about going into the hard. Apart from that, everything's okay. But I think what I'm going to try and do is get some. It looks like these seals have been on here 2 or 3 times, because yeah, they've yeah. So I might reseal it to see if that can help, because we don't want to get water, you know, into the build. As you can see, we've got such a lovely big area there. Obviously, that's where, if this boat had an engine, where the engine would sit in there. But of course, this one's got an outboard, so we've no need for that. Anyway, so that's what's happened there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. I've got to explain something to you, John. And as you know, anybody who gives me a comment, I always refer to you as John, because then we don't get personal. John said, "Why do I wear a silly orange hat?" Well, like most things in my life, there's a story to it. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't buy it. Who would buy a silly orange hat anyway? But anyway, let's tell you the story. We was on holiday many years ago, 7 years, and we was in Nova Scotia in Canada. Was it America? No, where Nova Scotia's America, or was it Canada? Anyway, we were doing our pet sitting. We travelled the world pet sitting all over the world. It was a wonderful time for 3 years. Anyway, we was walking through the woods. We were looking for moose and bears and whatever you do look at. And all of a sudden, you know, we heard this strange sound. I said to my wife, we hid behind a tree. It's a bear. It must be something. It must be something. Anyway, this guy turns out with a gun. He's obviously going out shooting things, you see. And he says, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Well, we're just walking through the woods, you know." He said, "Yes, but you should have something on bright." He says, "I could have shot you." I said, "No, yeah, but you don't." He said, "Take my word," he says, "always wear something bright." So out of his rucksack, he went and got an orange hat. He says, "Wear that." He says, because there's no animal in the woods is orange. So if ever you go for a walk in the woods in Canada, wear something orange. Then you won't get shot. Canadians don't need much of an excuse to shoot somebody. So there you go. Anyway, terrific guy. Got talking to him, and like I talk to anybody, like I'm talking to you. Anyway, we met up with him later in the evening in a bar, and he explained to me, I didn't realise is that you have to go and shoot something. You have to, in Canada. I hope is this boring you? If it is, just switch off, go and have a cup of tea and come back. Anyway, I must tell you, because I thought it was interesting, which in fact, you have to get a licence to shoot the animal, and you actually buy a licence, and that allows you to shoot one deer, elk, whatever they're called, a reindeer, yeah. You can only get 2 for the season. And then if you actually do shoot the animal, which you're allowed to do, you are allowed to shoot them, you have to then go to take it to an official butcher slaughterhouse, right? And then they record everything, how much it weighed, they butcher it for you. It's all filled on this license or certificate, permit to shoot. And so they can keep a record. But guess what? You're only allowed to shoot. I was going to say 2, but I'm not allowed to do that. Yeah, you're only allowed to shoot 2 a year, apparently, I was told. And you have to buy a license to go and shoot animals. Well, it's a way of monitoring it and keeping it. But as he said, you know, 2 elk or whatever they... I forgot what he shot. That's enough to keep the family in meat for the winter, which is what's the whole idea of it. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's carry on with the boat. Well, I'll take you inside because I've got plans. Yes, yeah, tell you about them in a minute. Great. Welcome aboard. As you see, we're in the cabin now. What are we up to? This is it. This is me thinking. The boat is normally, or this version of the new bridge was a 2-berth, which meant you had the front of the boat and you had 2 berths along the side, right? Which was okay. I quite enjoyed it. You know, I could make a berth up. But of course, every time you have to put everything away, wrap it all up. I don't know. So I was looking on the internet, looking at new bridge boats, and they made it into a 4-berth version. I thought, oh, could I convert mine into a 4-berth? Which means I could have a V-berth at the front of the boat, so all the bedding could stay up there, and then I could keep the back of the boat purely as, you know, as the galley, you know, and lounge area and everything. So that's what we're doing, because and it's not going to be too complicated, because this boat here had a wonderful system for a table, which I've taken off, by the way, which sat there. If you can see it, which to be honest with you, I never used. You know, so that's it, and it went up and down, and then when it was not used, you turned it around and hit it around the back. So anyway, so I thought, well, if I take the table off, and then excuse me, and then these bits here can help support it, and I can put a nice piece of wood across there and make it into a two-berth. So what do you think? Is that a good idea, or am I being? Because mainly the boat, it's never going to have lots of people. It's never going to go. So it only needs really a single berth for me. If when I go out to sea and do a bit of coastal cruising, just to stay there, and it'd be nice to have the place there. And then of course, then if it's got a berth, it gives me some more storage area. So whenever I build something like this, what I don't do is alter the boat at all. So if I want to put it back, I can do, because sometimes I do go like a bull in a china shop at something, just keep going, and then at the end of it I thought, well, that wasn't worth it. So if I don't do major alterations, so that's what we're going to do, is make it into a not four berth, because really I still only want it as a two berth, right? So if the wife ever decides, and miracles could happen, she wants to come and stay on the boat overnight, there's somewhere for her to stay. But that won't ever happen, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so that's it. That's the major job. What we've got to do is sort that out. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So that's my winter project. Regarding doing video, it's very hard, as I did say at the beginning, to do sort of videos about sailing when you're on the Harley. There's nothing to do. So what I'm going to try and do is once a week is just do an update, just to let you poor people know exactly what this silly old sod is doing with his boat. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it's going. Yeah. Quite enjoying it. It's nice to come down. As I said, the best thing I did was move the boat away from, it was about an hour and a half away from home down on the Norfolk Broads. But now bringing it up to Wales, it is literally 10 minutes away from my home. So like I can just pop down for a couple of hours, do a couple of hours work on the boat, make a video, do bits and pieces, and go home. So it's not, yeah, so that's good. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this nothing video. I will do a video of the wildlife for you next. That could be quite interesting. I could become the David Attenborough of Wales, North Norfolk. Be good, be happy, and most of all, look after the animals. Thanks a lot. Bye.